Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to see the different types of motion. That is, depending upon the path followed by the body, we will define their types. Right. So now, as we have already seen or already studied, that is the state of rest and state of motion, isn't it? So now, in this particular topic, we are going to discuss the motion of a body in different paths and of course with respect to a reference point, and that reference point can be a fixed point or a moving point, right? Now let's see some examples over here. Now as you can see the three pictures over here, that is a football, a basketball and a cricket ball over here, right? So now I want you to focus and imagine the motion of the football that is on a straight line, right? So the football doesn't change its direction, it moves only in one particular direction, okay, one particular direction, no change in the direction. Its direction is not changing, it is moving on the floor or the ground in a fixed direction, right? Okay. Now as you can see the second picture over here, that is a basketball when it is thrown into the basket. As you can see, it is going up as well as it is going towards the basket, right? It means over here its direction is changing, that is it was going up and it is coming down. So for that we can take one direction, isn't it, either positive or negative, right? But it is moving towards the basket also, that is different direction. So over here two directions are considered, that is it is moving towards the basket suppose, and it is moving up also, okay. So now over here you can observe two directions or change in two directions, that is the basketball is been thrown, so its vertical direction, okay, vertically up or vertically down, and horizontally towards the basket. So vertical and horizontal both directions needs to be considered, isn't it? That's why two directions. Now as you can see the third picture over here, and consider particularly the green trajectory of the ball, cricket ball. So when the ball is thrown, right, so when the ball is thrown, if it is not swinging out of the path of the wicket, okay, or out of the wicket or into the wicket, then we can say it is the same motion as the basketball. But the ball is thrown, okay, it is changing two directions, that is vertical and horizontal, and it is changing the third direction also, that is swinging out of the wicket, isn't it, swinging out of the wicket. So in that case we can say the three directions, that is vertical, horizontal and sideways, vertical, horizontal and sideways. So three directions are changing in this particular case if we consider the ball having green trajectory. So for that three directions needs to change, right? So three directions. So remember, in the first case I showed you one direction, second case two directions, third case three directions. So over here when the body is in motion, if it changes, okay, if it changes its position only in one direction, it is called as one dimension, okay. And when the body is in motion and it changes its position in two directions, it is known as two dimension or two dimensional motion. Now when the body is in motion and it changes its position in three directions, then it is called as three dimensions, right? Now let me explain it to you more clearly. These directions can be expressed using Cartesian coordinate system, or we call it rectangular coordinate system, that is nothing but three axes x, y, z mutually perpendicular to each other. So as you can see over here, so the first motion, the first case, that is the motion of the football, can be explained by considering any one of the axes, x or y or z, any one, okay, any one axis I can consider, and I can explain the motion of this football in a straight line, straight line, right? And for the second case, that is the motion of the basketball, I need two directions. So I will have to use either xy or yz or zx. It means, as you can see, if I use xy, it's a plane, isn't it? Or yz, it's a plane, isn't it? Or zx, it's a plane again, right? It's a plane again. So what I'm trying to say over here is, in case of motion of this ball, the football, it is 1D. I can consider any one of the axes, that is x, y or z, and I can explain the change in position with respect to time. So that is nothing but one dimensional motion. Okay, one direction means one dimensional motion. And in the case of basketball over here, during the motion of it, it is changing its direction. I mean, it is changing its position in two directions. Okay, that's why I can consider any of the two axes, xy or yz or zx, and in that way I can explain the motion of it. Now in the third case, I can use all the three axes, because in case of the third picture over here, the third case over here, its direction during the entire motion is changing in three directions, or you can say its position is changing in three directions during its motion. So I have to consider all the three axes. So you can say, when a body is moving on a straight line, only one coordinate changes, either x, y or z. When a body is moving in a plane, that is plane means two directions or two dimensional, two coordinates out of three changes with respect to time. And when the body is in motion, in 3D motion, okay, 3D motion or three dimensional motion, or its direction or its position changes in three directions, then we can say that the body is in motion in a space. Space means voluminous space, okay, or region. Voluminous means I have to consider all the three axes. Okay, I want to give you one more explanation in this particular 3D, that is, you can consider this 3D motion as two walls, okay, a corner of your room, two walls of your room and the floor, right? They are meeting each other. So this is the cornermost, right? Two walls and the floor, right? So now if I throw anything into the room from the corner, so that motion would be described by three-dimensional motion, okay, or the motion can be described by change in position of that body in three coordinates, Now if I throw any body along the length of the wall or along the wall, so its only two coordinates would be changing. If I throw any object in one direction, then only one coordinate would be changing. I hope you got that, right? So if I throw anything in one direction and its position is changing only in one direction, that is one dimensional motion. If I throw any object and its position is changing with two directions or in two directions, then it is motion in 2D. And if I throw any object and its position is changing in three directions, then it is motion in 3D. I hope you got that, right? So in Cartesian coordinate system, the three axis has three variables, that is x, y and z. So suppose I consider one position over here, okay, position P, and it has coordinates x, y, z, because it is in three dimension, okay. Now if I say the body which is at position P moves in a straight line, and it is here, somewhere over here, it is P dash, suppose the position, okay, moves in a straight line. So now there is a chance that all the three coordinates x, y, z will change, or only two will change, or only one will change, right? So if any one changes, x to x dash, or y to y dash, or z to z dash, only one changes, okay, then that type of motion will be called as one dimensional motion. Here is the example, as you can see. And in case of 2D, only 2 out of 3, that is either xy or yz or zx or zx, any of the three, I mean xy yz or zx. If both the changes, that is x, y, z to x dash y dash z, or x, y dash z dash, or x, y, x dash y z dash, then we can say that the body is in two-dimensional motion. And in case of 3D, of course, which you have already seen, all the variables, that is all the three x, y, z has to change. In x, y, z changes to x dash, y dash and z dash. So if all the variables change when the particle is in motion or the body is in motion, then we say that that kind of motion is three-dimensional motion. Right? Now, I hope you understood that. So if during the motion only one variable changes in one direction, that kind of motion is called as one-dimensional motion, either x or y or z. Okay? And in case of 2D, the particle or the body changes its position in two directions. So either xy or yz or zx has to change, okay, out of the three. So that is motion in a plane, as you can see, plane over here. Okay, it's a plane formed by two axes. Okay, and in case of motion in three-dimensional, that is the particle when it is in motion or the body when it is in motion, its position changes with respect to three directions, or its position changes in three directions. Okay, in that case you can say the body is in motion in three dimension or space. Okay, so linear, plane and voluminous or space. I hope you got that right. So that was all about types of motion. Thank you.